Close enough. Right.
I can't remember anyone's name.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Mrs. Croft.
Been a long old while.
Colonel Coghill.
Jemima Croft. Arthur Coghill, is it? And Dr. John Elvedon.
John Elvedon. Academic doctor.
Elvedon. Arsonist to the stars.
That's true, too. Nobody ever proved the arson. Well, pyromania, I'll admit to, but no one's actually asked.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
That bald fella. He's down the well.
Is there trouble?
There's a man down this well.
A man down the well.
As trusting as we are of the police, and we love everything you do, and God bless you for keeping this fine country safe. We don't want to take up any more of your time, so perhaps it'd be better if we just went back to our accommodation.
And as you said, Mrs. Croft, the markings down that well, they looked rather like this symbol I sketched on my napkin. The sort of dragonfly sort of thing.
Hopefully we can find out more.
I look at the other two with my most meaningful, I'm not sure if I should mention the cat, but I'm not going to mention the cat, eyes.
And I immediately mentioned the cat.
There aren't tunnels from the vicarage through to the well, are there?
We did mark the trees, remember?
If one were to find actual secret passages that were a bit older, it would be worth writing a book about. I shall look into that.
The Apocalypse Players present Magnum Tenebrosum, a Call of Cthulhu scenario by Dominic Allen, with Joseph Chance as Dr. John Elvedon, Danann McAleer as Colonel Ambrose Coghill, and our special guest, Tilly Steele, as Dr. Jemima Croft. Your keeper of arcane lore is Dominic Allen. Part 7. God fulfills himself in many ways.
So you're outside the church. It stands in a little churchyard with no graves in it. There's a tree. It's quite a big church. In fact, any of you could give me a what would the skill be?
Churchyard.
Yeah, history or architecture or religion.
Let's do it.
I have theology. I believe.
That's not quite right, but it'll do.
Not quite right, is it? You're right, it's not quite right.
But I suppose, yeah, you can give me a theology roll. Why not?
I think my history might be better. Weirdly. History's 60.
You do pass under a lich gate as you go in as well. So it's got a low wall all the way around it, and it does have a nice ornate wooden lich gate.
I failed my roll. I'm enjoying the scenery.
Yes. Is there something? I failed. Wow, that's an 88. That's really high. I failed, but
I haven't got anything useful, I don't think. I rolled 67, but I don't have any.
What's your education?
Scores. Education, 65.
Better than mine.
No, good.
But still.
I want to push this. Do I?
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, we're walking in. We're just walking in.
We haven't done a deep study on anything. We're just looking at it for the first time. Might be chances to later.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I think there's something nagging at my mind, and I think also I'm discombobulated. So I'm finding it hard to focus.
It's probably not even 20 minutes ago that you lit your jumper on fire and tossed down a well.
Well, we did get to bed late, I seem to recall, and it was.
It's the morning.
Eventful.
Forgive me.
It was certainly eventful. It feels like just 20 minutes ago.
The smell of the cashmere is still.
All the excitement. It's singed my nostrils.
Yeah.
I can't smell anything.
God. Quite a clear day, but the ground is wet because it's been raining all night.
Fuck's sake. Well, shall we have a mosey about? Look inside?
Oh, I'd very much like that, yes.
Yes. Quite right.
We're quite the trio, aren't we?
Well,
Quite the trio of explorers.
aren't we just? Even
Aren't we indeed, Mrs. Croft?
As you come up to the main doors of the church, they're big wooden doors, and the board of like daily service is blank.
Oh, really?
And it's, like I say, it's quite a big church. It's in the sort of Gothic style.
Shall we take a turn about the grounds, Colonel?
Yes, possibly. Just drawn to this bill of service, nothing on. Do the people in this village not frequent the church?
That is irregular, I agree. Slightly more interest, though, it would seem, in Roman wells and the developers of said wells.
Well, quite.
That wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
You know, don't forget, John. You know, as well, you know, the newer religions built their pyramids, their temples on the older religions. So, you know, we're looking for Roman shit. This is as good a place as any, possibly.
Ah, yes, of course, yes. The face of Christ, as also the face of Apollo, or indeed God,
or indeed Janus, the two-faced god of chaos.
Well, I'm sure Mrs. Croft could enjoy our conversation on this point for some minutes.
Ernest chuckles when you say all that. He's like, "Oh well, yes. I mean, it's quite
bloody hell, Ernest, you're here as well."
Yes,
I've completely forgotten that.
Oh, Christ.
I forgot you were there. Sorry, Ernest.
Oh, God.
No, it's quite.
Sorry.
Mrs. Croft,
are
you all right?
Loomed behind me. Oh, God.
Yes, it's got quite
Spoke right into my ear.
Don't do that again, Ernest.
It's got quite the interesting architectural history. Yes.
Oh,
Care to enlighten us further?
do go on.
Oh well, if any.
Perhaps with some pertinent details.
Yes, that would be excellent.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what I know. I believe it was primarily Norman, a Norman church, and the outwardly visible additions have all been made from the Tudors and the Victorians. I believe the Tudors extended the roof, gave it a big wooden roof, and then the Victorians added this Gothic style.
Excellent.
Why the Normans picked that particular place, I couldn't say. Usually, like you say, usually it's because of some earlier. Often there's some sort of religious significance to the location of Norman churches.
Quite right.
But,
some earlier blasphemous
yes,
place.
or indeed early Roman Christians might have venerated the site for some reason. I don't know. That I'm not sure about, but I could look into it, I suppose.
Constantine had his hot tub here or something. But yes, no, thank you.
Yes.
Just don't sneak up on us like that again.
I was here the whole time.
Well, should we have a look inside?
What about that perambulation? What do you think? I always like to look at the outside of the thing before I
Yes.
descend to the vestry.
Yes, true.
Or ascend.
Well, I tell you what, chaps, I and madam, I might head back, check on Corin, make sure he's all right,
Yes.
and then I tell you what, I'll go back to my house and I'll start having a look through this Roman stuff for you. Pop along later, and I'll tell you if I found anything.
Excellent. Thank you.
Do you recommend a baker's in town? Should we bring scones?
Oh, that would be charming. Oh, in fact, I think I've got some.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, but come for tea.
Marvellous. 11:30?
Perfect.
Oh, marvellous. I'll just double check the time now.
It's about 10.
Oh, well, an hour and a half. That should do it, I suppose, yeah.
Well, yes, let's have that perambulation of yours. Get a solid look at the rest of the yard. What do you say, Miss Croft?
Absolutely. I know nothing about architecture, but I find it all fascinating.
Oh, it looks rather pretty though, doesn't it?
It does.
It's always good. It's always good to look at the guttering, and then occasionally, of course, the other
The gargoyles.
headstones that might have been built into the wall. That sort of yes.
Yes, the gargoyles.
Just to remind you as well, this is the location that Tabitha was last seen.
Of course it was.
And the vicar was the last one to see her.
Yes.
Thank you for that reminder. Important.
Good to remember.
Should we do an investigation roll outside to see if there's anything outside?
Can I do a detective role to see how good I am?
Well, actually, now, does anyone have tracking, Coghill? Do you?
Now, I think I do have some tracking because I'm pretty sure I've used it already. Let's have a look.
I think you did.
I do. I've
while
got
we were in
rather
the
good
graveyard.
tracking. From my time
I
in
seem to recall.
Sudan and various other places. I've got 50 tracking. Now, so if we are doing a perambulation, I know fuck all about architecture in the same way Miss Croft has just stated. So perhaps a tracking roll just to see if there's any fresh foot.
Well, seeing as your tracking is so good, what I'll tell you is there's actually very little point because any tracks are gone.
Of course.
The rain and everything else has masked anything around here. You would guess.
Oh, well.
Can we do, is it spot hidden?
That's a good question, isn't it?
I'm going to probably focus on the building while
good
you
idea.
focus on the things that are out of the easy gaze of the man or woman looking. As is, of course, your job. That's your job, isn't it?
And I'm muttering, two hobbits lay here. The horse. And then they ran into Fangorn Forest.
And you imitate the horse, don't you?
So you're sort of you're walking around the building, right?
Yep.
Me?
All of you, or any of you?
Yeah, I'm looking at the ground. I'm looking to see if there's anything unusual, anything that maybe the police missed.
Yeah, give me a spot hidden roll.
Okay, let's go for it.
I take Coghill's forearm and I say, no, not that way. That's Widdersham's. This way.
Yes.
I get 15.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I have 60 spot hidden.
What I'll tell you then is this. Well, you all notice that around the western side of the church, obviously it's a big cross shape, on I can't remember church terminology, but the western sticky out bit of the cross, there is a small wooden door, a side door. But, Mrs. Croft, you get all the way round to the other side, on the eastern side, is this, the window, the black window. If it had been a fire, looking at it, it looks like there's no other fire damage to this church. And the glass is strange. It doesn't look like, it's not like any darkened glass you've seen before.
Doctor, wouldn't you say this glass is strange?
Well, very much so. That was that was in the photograph, wasn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Let's look at that more carefully.
I don't know the first thing about architecture, I'm
and
afraid.
I step towards you.
There.
I have archaeology 42. Would archaeology be appropriate rather than history? Or my history is better.
You could give me an archaeology roll. I don't know if you'll find out anything new.
I mean, I suppose the other thing I could try is occult.
What's your occult?
38. Probably not as good as yours.
No, I don't think my occult isn't good. I've got 5 in occult.
Likewise.
Well, I am a theologian, so I felt some occult would be relevant. So, your call, keeper of the Northern Tourist Board, but I am very happy to give you archaeology or occult, depending on the one that would give me the greatest insight regarding this glass. And I have rolled a good 25. So it's a pass on both.
Well, what I'll tell you then is that you can think of no other example of this in church architecture, in
unusual
religious significance. You've never come across something like this before.
Good Lord. It really is quite remarkable.
It's giving cult.
Yeah.
What did you say, Mrs. Croft?
Have you told me?
Oh, yes. It's most remarkable. I've not seen anything like it before. I can't think of a single instance where this would be the case. Simply a black glass.
But why would they decorate their church in such a manner? It seems positively heathen. It seems as though there could be some sort of pagan organization of some kind.
All right.
Well, there are examples of temporary glass, but that wouldn't fit with the photographic evidence that we saw in the...
And why black?
Well, I suppose the colour of mourning, or that is the shade of mourning. I think it opens up to interpretation in your regard, I would have thought, rather more than mine.
Well, the only thing I can think is to protect from prying eyes.
Yes, there's also that. Shall we go in and look at it?
I think it's long overdue.
We can't see anything from the outside that it seems to be doing to the light or any kind of imperfections or anything.
And sorry, Dom, is this the chap who's our friend, who's the vicar? Is this his church?
Yeah.
Right. So, of course,
Suspicion falleth.
we could ask him, but while we're here,
While we're here, let's go in.
I think with no role of my own to do, I sort of, I'm listening intently and I say, yes, quite right. Let's open up. And I jangle the keys from my jacket pocket and go around to the front and open up. And I'm immediately eaten by a hell beast.
Okay.
Oh God, what do you want us to do, Dom?
Just,
what do we have to
find my
do?
notes.
Some sort of sanity / archaeology /
Roll sanity immediately.
So you're going through the front main doors.
Yes.
You go into a vestibule, a large vestibule.
Good.
That divides the outer door and the inner door of the main transept. And it's dominated by a wooden staircase up to what you assume is probably a viewing platform over the pews. There is a decaying village notice board on one wall, which is bare but for a handful of out-of-date announcements by the looks of things, jumble sales, market days, that sort of thing. On the opposite wall to that is one of those marble slabs with intricate sort of nicely cursive golden names, in gold paint.
Yeah.
And it appears to be a list of former vicars of the parish. They date back to 1826 when...
And is our friend Corin...
And the most recent is Reverend Williamson. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
But there is a gap before him in terms of dates.
Of how long?
A 10-year gap.
Right.
Did you say 1826?
Yeah.
That's when records began.
So this town was godless for a good 10 years.
Sounds very much like that.
No resident vicar.
I think you could probably give me if anyone wants to give me an idea roll.
Ooh, yeah, could I? Because I feel slightly outdone by these fellas and lessers in terms of their archaeology and their occult. I think an idea roll might make me feel more in the game.
So this is your intelligence you're rolling.
That's a 21 on my 85 intelligence. But almost extreme. So hard.
Smashed it.
You remember when you were in the cemetery, you saw the grave of a Reverend Ormskirk.
Yes.
Reverend Ormskirk's name is not on this list.
Right.
It was Ormskirk who was with the late William Roehampton and his lady wife.
That's also correct.
Yes, absolutely.
Remind me about that, sorry.
The photograph that we saw in the public house, which showed
The creepy photograph.
which showed this black window.
Yes.
But not the same photograph.
So does that mean that the black window predates the vicar?
It means that it's all connected somehow. It feels that it's all connected somehow. I don't know the exact details though, but I think you might be right. It might be
Would that mean that, Dom, in terms of the dates, that the black window was there before our friend was?
very much so,
Before Corin?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely before Corin.
Okay.
because Ormskirk is in the photo.
It's possibly not his pagan show.
It clears his influence when it comes to putting the glass in, but it might not clear him. He might not be aware of what it's doing to him.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Now, to get closer to this...
You described the figure. Sorry, just to check while we're here on the retro stuff. You described the figure of who you saw in the graveyard. I'm pretty sure in the churchyard.
Oh,
Me.
So I think, but both of you saw to Roehampton, right?
I
Well, he was
certainly saw
identical to...
the photo of the man in Corin's
Yeah.
house. But in the photo.
Yeah.
In Corin's house.
The bald man.
And he's meant to be dead, right?
Yeah. And is that Ormskirk?
I think that's Roehampton.
That's Roehampton.
I think so.
He was pale and thin, right?
Yeah.
And he was having a lovely time frolicking through the trees, frightening us.
Wasn't he just? And then we got to the house and it was like, oh, that fellow, I saw him earlier.
And Mrs. Roehampton wants the memorial on the site of the well.
Yes.
She's alive. One assumes Ormskirk is also dead because the graveyard is suggesting he is. But since one of them is walking around, maybe the other one is. Who knows? I think I say, looking at that name, Ormskirk. But wait, the name Ormskirk is up there, right?
No,
it's not up there. Has it?
Yeah, Ormskirk is not on that list.
Has it been scratched off, or has it been?
Is there just a gap?
It doesn't appear to be. There's just a gap. There's not a physical gap.
I think it's only Coghill that notices that. So it's whether he's told you.
I think I will say that. I think I'll say, strange. Wasn't there an Ormskirk? Reverend Ormskirk? This gap seems unnatural.
Yes, well spotted.
Yes.
Just to clarify, it's not a physical gap on the list.
No.
It's just a gap of dates.
Yes. But surely there should be some joining up here. It seems there was a period, 10 perhaps years or so. My math isn't incredible, but where there was clearly someone else at the helm. This particular place here.
How unsettling.
How unsettling.
But let's take a look at that glass, shall we?
Yes. How best to get closer to the black glass? Is it up the wooden stairs, or is it at the other end of the church?
There are also doors into the main body of the church in front of you.
Well, let's unless they're locked, let's have a look.
They're not locked.
I'd like to push one open and just wander through. Yeah.
So you're in the main body of the church now. There's 3 separate columns of pews all the way up to the central, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's really big for this size of village. It's pretty big. The air is thick with sort of must. It's got that really musty, churchy smell. Dust motes hang in the air, and it's quite gloomy in here because all the windows are stained glass. And looking around, they all seem to depict the life of Christ. Different important moments.
Turning that kid into a goat. Stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lighting his jumper on fire and chucking down a well. Things like that.
Yeah.
Turning those pigs sentient so they ran into the sea.
Yeah.
Just Christ things.
Yeah, those Christ apocryphal things. I think without really checking myself, as soon as we walk through, I do that thing that everyone does really when they enter an abandoned or an empty church and go, hello, and then turn to the others and sort of realize it may have been slightly.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Sorry. I like to get the resonance of a place.
Indeed.
Is there a visitor's book? Is there a?
Oh yes, good idea.
Good thinking.
Not that you can see.
Well,
altars in the right place. That sort of thing.
Yeah. So it looks like as you go further in,
altars upside down.
over to the
This is spooky. I don't like this.
Goat hanging from above it.
No.
at the top, you've got the altar and the chairs that you have up there in the choir area. To the right, in the right hand bit, there is a small lady chapel.
What does that mean?
It's usually a smaller altar that's dedicated to the Virgin Mary,
Right.
Okay.
because it's quite a high Anglican church, so it's got a bit of the old stuff going on. But it's slightly cordoned off, so it's got this sort of wooden balustrade that you have to pass behind to get into the smaller lady chapel, and that is where the black window is. It's in the lady chapel.
Now, would it be likely that there would be private donations made by local personages to maintain such chapels?
Possibly.
And it's foolish of me not to have thought that it would be, of course, the location of a chapel, potentially a private chapel. But that might explain its unusualness the better.
Yes.
I think there's a moment of hesitation on Elvedon's part, which leads him automatically to look to see how many candles are available.
There seems to be plenty of candles.
Good. Well, that's okay.
Set up, but they're not lit.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure I mentioned the name of the church. The church is the Church of St. Margaret of Antioch.
Oh my word.
Can I Google this?
Of Antioch? Just reminds me of Monty Python.
I mean, I should know that. But
who's St. Margaret?
St. Margaret of Antioch. Do you want me to do a history roll regarding that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
That is a 17.
Well, Margaret of Antioch, also known as Saint Marina the Great Martyr.
Oh, she is.
Celebrated particularly in the Orthodox Church. Quite an Orthodox saint, but not unheard of in the Western Christian world. She was reputed to have promised very powerful indulgences to those who wrote or read her life or invoked her intercessions. And she had a very dedicated cult. Joan of Arc claimed to have spoken with her. She suffered at Antioch in Pisidia in around 304 during the Diocletian persecution.
I think I start reeling this information off, Tom, by the way.
Of course.
In an almost automatic, and slightly insufferable manner. Not yours is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I'm just reading Wikipedia.
That's beautiful.
But yes, it was the Great Persecution. It was the last of the big persecutions of Christians in Rome. She was the daughter of a pagan priest. Her mother died in childbirth, but she was nursed by a Christian woman near Antioch. She embraced Christianity, consecrated her virginity to God. She was disowned by her father.
Unsurprisingly.
And she lived in the country in Byzantium, essentially. What was Byzantium? What became Byzantium.
Why did he disown her?
Yeah, because she was Christian, I think.
She turned Christian. He was a pagan priest.
The governor of the Roman Diocese of the East asked to marry her, but on the grounds that she would renounce her Christianity, she refused. So she was tortured, during which various miracles occurred. One of these involved being swallowed by Satan in the shape of a dragon, from which she escaped alive when the cross she carried irritated the dragon's innards. But then they chopped her head off.
Cool, so she survived a dragon, but not having a head
That was actually
off.
Satan.
Right, yeah.
The Encyclopedia Britannica says her story is generally regarded to be fictitious.
No, you're joking.
Come on, mate.
I can't believe that.
Doubts about her story have been going on since the Middle Ages.
Really?
What else is relevant? Let's see if there's anything that's actually relevant. Her feast day.
But are they saying essentially that the whole story is fake? That there was never any?
Possibly. I'm not quite sure.
Rather than her visionary moments of Christian insight.
In the Church of England, her commemoration day is the 20th of July. She is the patroness of pregnant women, servant maids, and against diabolical infestations. That might be
last
relevant,
one.
But
Diabolical infestations. Certainly, yeah.
What was the middle one? Pregnant women.
Pregnant women. What about pregnant cats?
Well, quite,
Exactly.
yeah.
pregnant women, servant maids.
Servant maids. That was the one. That's crucial.
Have we met any servant maids?
You have not.
Although the landlady of the Roman
She
well
certainly
inn
had a servant maid quality.
has a world weary quality. Pregnant women, servant maids, and
Diabolical
infestations.
Do you share this with the rest of us?
It's like a delightful lecture.
Excellent.
By delightful, I don't even know whether it is delightful.
Riveting. Unbelievable, Doctor.
Like the history of the Titanic.
You have quite the memory.
Riveting.
Oh, it's all part of the Tripos. Oh no, that's the other place. That's Cambridge. Oh, it's all part of the second years. They have to study her. One of the great interests, of course, is to try and wheedle out those fake documents and look at people who are sort of singing the praises falsely, so that they can get their own political agenda on the board. Diocletian persecution is, of course, terrible business. But anyway, one hardly thinks that that's the real purpose for this church's invocation. Although Corian did say it was an ancient an early Christian site, so
Yes.
maybe there was a thread there.
Well, she wasn't a pagan then.
But if she was in touch with pagans, one of the great powers, of course, perhaps one of the reasons why we might suggest it could be a false story, or that is to say, a good story to tell people to impress them to turn to Christianity, is, of course, as you said outside, Colonel, we take the pagan and we convert it to the Christian. Usually that gets abused by people in power for money and such.
Yes.
Sadly. Certainly, given the grand nature of this church and the rather humble nature of the village, it would seem to suggest that not much changed.
As you cast your eyes up, you see that the roof is still wooden. There are these huge wooden beams crisscrossing all across the roof, all the way down the church. And there is indeed a viewing platform, sort of overflow pew area above, which those steps lead up to. Over to the left, the right is the Lady Chapel with the black window in it. You can't really see it from where you are. You'd have to go into the Lady Chapel to have a proper look. Or to the left, there is a door to the left of the altar, which you presume leads to the vestry.
Well, should we have a closer look at this window?
Yes, let's start there.
Seems pertinent. I sort of jangle the keys back into my pocket and trying to make out that I've got some sort of authority left, even though it's quite clear the two people I'm talking to are far more intelligent than I am. Well, maybe not intelligent, but educated. And, yes.
But none of us can put it away like you can.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I remember my good lady wife saying something similar just days ago. I don't know what that means. This way?
Lead the way.
So, you make your way into the Lady Chapel, and it's very nicely appointed little space. There's a slightly garish statue of the Virgin Mary. With
Are you talking garish as in like the stuff you find in gift shops in Ireland and not?
Oh,
like wind up, glow in the dark Virgin Marys.
not as garish as Irish Catholicism.
Okay.
No.
So I've seen my share of that.
No, it's like a dusty. Yeah, it's a dusty statue.
Okay, great.
It's been painted, but the dust has kind of covered it.
Yeah.
And then there's a small altar with goblet and candles and all that sort of stuff in the Bible.
The Bible.
And then dominating it, this huge black window goes all
And
the
is
way up to the
there
ceiling.
light coming through it at all?
Very slightly.
Is it like black glass or is it painted glass? Like, how black are we talking?
It looks like black glass.
Yeah. Like almost like slivers of obsidian.
Yeah. Light is coming through it, but not much.
Right. It's not like someone's put a sheet of glass up and painted it. It's
but kind of the same amount you get through a normal stain.
Yeah. Okay. Great. How strange.
But in fact, the first thing you notice about it is there's a plaque. There are two plaques, in fact. One is a small sign explaining the window, which says to visitors. It's on like a wooden post with a
look here, a sign explaining it to visitors.
A typewritten note. And it says, the window of the Immaculate Conception was unfortunately turned black by fire damage many years ago. The Church of St. Margaret of Antioch is accepting donations towards renovating it.
And what does the other one say?
So there is a small metal plaque underneath the window itself. And every window's got a plaque saying what the scene is. You've seen, they've all got plaques underneath them. You assume that's what they say.
John the Baptist being beheaded by the bears of Antioch. Yeah.
Exactly. That sort of thing.
Go up, you bald head.
Go up, you bald head. Go up, you...
It reads, Magnum Tenebrosum et Magnum Innominandum Magna Mater.
Which means...
The Great Shadow.
Anyone know Latin?
I shall roll
Doctor?
my Latin.
Please.
For the full translation.
Although I kind of think if you do know what that means, that counts, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. But let's see. It's all right because I've rolled a 48. which is 2 under my Latin.
Hey!
Fabulous.
So, reading this, the Latin is a little bit dodgy,
Good. My favourite.
but you think what it's trying to say is the great darkness and the great unfathomable great mother.
So, not a direct message.
The comma, you think, could probably be rendered more helpfully as a colon.
I agree.
The great darkness and the great unfathomable, colon, great mother.
I've often thought that.
You think is probably how it's meant to be passed.
Or after great. Great. Mother!
Great darkness, the great darkness and the great unfathomable, the great mother.
So the mother is the great darkness and the great unfathomable. That should be the sense of it.
You think so?
Okay.
But that in itself, I mean, with your theology being what it is, Dr. Elvedon, doesn't make a huge amount of sense. You never come across that in
Fire damage.
standard Christian.
Yeah, I mean, my Latin is almost non-existent. So my main thing is looking at the glass. Does it look like this glass is burnt?
Well, if you're scrutinising the window,
Yeah, I'd like to.
can you give me a spot hidden?
Okay. I mean, I might, I want to get really close to it if I can, and see if I can see what was potentially in the images before it was burnt. My spot hidden is not great, so don't hold your breath. That's a 15 on my 25 spot hidden.
What a roll. What a roll.
What a fucking roll.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would some luck help to...
I mean, I could make it a hard roll with luck.
I don't think that'll be... I'm not sure that'll be
Okay.
worth your time.
Good suggestion.
You start to realise that there are vague outlines in the glass. The glass definitely depicts something. There is a scene that is obscured from you.
Oh my god.
You can't quite make out what it could be. It's almost like you need some different or better illumination on it. But you try and trace the image and you just can't hold it in your head. And after a while, you start to feel uncomfortable.
Oh.
You start to feel a little queasy, like you're being watched.
I shouldn't have gone for Y fronts. The jockeys were more my style. Wow.
Eye,
Okay.
The great eye of the crotch.
Yes, quite.
Does Coghill tell us this?
Well, I think as I'm looking at it, I sort of probably am saying, just trying to see if there's any sense of the diorama I can tell, but gosh, and I think probably as I become uncomfortable as to where I probably turn away from it a bit and rub my eyes and say, oh no, something quite wrong there, something quite wrong.
I slightly overly enthusiastically light 3 candles and thrust one into your face. Just as you're turning round.
Motherfucker.
Oh, sorry. But this might help. What do you think, Mrs. Croft? And I pass one to Jemima.
Yes, I was having quite the same thought.
Ah.
Good. And I light 3 more.
Let's step closer, shall we?
Yes, feel free. I just need to.
Dr. Elvedon, can you give me a luck
roll.
A luck roll as you grab these candles? Give me a luck
nice,
roll.
nice.
For both of
As
us?
I go
or-
to light the candles, my comedy aside.
They're made out of.
That is a pass, though. 42, not by much. I have passed by 10. Now I'm 52 luck, keeper of the Dabbing in the Wold fire service.
Oh, now. Well, right. Yeah, so, yeah, and I suppose this is lucky. As you're collecting these candles, you notice that one has rolled under the altar.
Oh.
There's a candle on the floor. You just catch it with your eye. But it's different to the other candles, because the other candles are white wax, but this one is black wax.
I instinctively kneel, and then I find myself having done something instinctively, and I say, just wait a second. It's like when you get up in the trenches, don't you find, Jemima? And I look at her like a madman.
Don't worry, Dr. John. You're breathing. Remember you're breathing.
Am I? Yes, no, I am. Yes. Yes, I'm in a safe, quiet place. And in fact,
Yes.
actually, for once I am. But
You're quite safe and sane.
But you see this? Look here.
You say as I'm rubbing dust
What
into
is
my
it?
eyes in the corner, going, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, I think unfortunately I have
Don't worry about him, he's just a bit hungover.
I have taken my eye off him, that is true, but I think, look, what's that? Is that an unusual sort of candle?
Yes, well, it appears to be a different colour to the other ones, but
But normally we don't see that sort of thing. Even in an unusual chapel like this, that, you know, if a church doesn't have to spend any more money, it won't.
yes, well, perhaps
I'm going to pick it up. I thought I should tell you.
all right. Okay.
And I reach my hand out to it.
What's he picking up there? Oh, Christ.
It's just a candle. Looks perfectly harmless.
Oh, good.
And I pick up the candle. And I think it's fair to say that I look under where it's rolled to as well.
Yeah. There's nothing else under there.
That's a relief.
Does it have any strange witch markings on it?
No, it's a completely smooth, plain black taper candle.
Oh.
It hasn't been lit then.
Ooh.
Has it been used?
No, it's brand new. Or it's maybe not brand new, but it's unadulterated. It looks like it's been there for a while though. It's dusty.
I thrust it towards Jemima, and I say, "I'm sorry, but I should give this to you."
Why me?
Well, I feel that it's appropriate.
Almost certainly not, darling.
All right, Dr. John, if that would make you feel better. And I take the candle.
What? So it's black. If I study the altar, do there seem to be black wax markings?
Oh, that's a very good question. No.
Or indeed the candelabra?
I don't know how long you take doing this, but certainly glancing around doesn't seem like there's any black wax on the floor or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a glance.
Well, are we lighting these then?
Yes. Sorry. And I come back to the conversation.
Not that one.
Why not?
Look, this is my theory,
Yes.
and I've not been entirely forthcoming, but I think here, of all places, it's probably appropriate to pitch it to you.
Oh,
Please.
all right.
I think Corin's hiding something in his basement. Why is that an American term? I don't know why I've used an American term. In his cellar.
Yes, quite.
When I went down there,
yeah.
I saw a hole, as I may have mentioned. I can't help but think that could be in some way connected to some sort of subterranean group of passages that allows people to impersonate Roehampton and sneak into the Roman well.
Lord, man.
Oh gosh, Dr. John, you don't think he has something to do with the poor girl's disappearance after all?
I wouldn't necessarily say that he has something to do with the disappearance that he knows about, but we can all forget ourselves.
Well.
And I look meaningfully at Jemima at that point in a sort of pleading way. And I don't look at Coghill quite deliberately.
Indeed we can.
Sounds like an apologist bollocks to me.
Exactly, Colonel.
Well,
Given the fact that that's one really rather large mystery that we don't know how to resolve, add on to that the thought that Roehampton, and I say this with a degree of concern for my own peace of mind, might not be dead, or might be dead, and we have seen something. He trails off.
So you're saying you'd like me to hold on to this candle?
Now
For some
we have
reason.
strange windows that have odd Latin sayings, the great darkness and the great unfathomable, comma, the great mother. I mean, syntax is very confusing alone,
Yeah.
let alone the actual content.
I was always told that.
My whole spirit wishes to light that candle for pure curiosity's sake. And if there's one thing I understand from texts that suggest it would be unwise to meddle with items that could be important for ritual purposes, is I think we should keep hold of it, and I shouldn't light it. I think
Yes.
it is the closest thing we've come across to a strange and odd piece of evidence.
Perhaps keep a hold of it, see if we find any others.
Do you think we can clean the window, Colonel?
Well, I'd imagine they'd have tried that. But when you say that, I do sort
Not
of.
if they don't want us to.
Maybe I spit on my handkerchief and give it a little rub in one of the corners, if I can reach.
I put the black candle in my purse next to my handgun
That's where it
and
belongs.
clip it shut.
Trying to clean the window makes no difference to how black it is, but you take some of the dust off of it.
No. Seems, and does it seem fire burnt?
Can I scrutinise the window now?
I think you all have.
Oh, well, in which case, go for it. Yeah.
You can all have been spending this time scrutinising the window. There's nothing to make out besides these odd shapes. that, and the longer you look at the window, the more uncomfortable you feel about it.
Yeah.
You can't make out any... There is definitely an image there, but you just can't quite see it.
Could be, yeah.
Well, let's light one of these normal candles then, shall we, chaps?
Yes, good idea.
And bring it closer to the window and see if we can discern
Yes.
what it is that we're looking at.
Quite right.
I find it very odd that we can't seem to make out the image.
Yes, likewise. For a moment, I was sure it was St. John the Baptist pulling the thorn from the dinosaur's paw and, galloping back to
It could well be.
Galilee. But I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Not a passage I'm familiar with, but...
Well, it's a remarkable passage.
Yes. As they so often are. What do you make of it, Jemima?
The passage?
No, I meant with the candle.
Oh, well, I thought you might do the honours, Dr. John.
Very, very well.
Good idea.
I light a candle.
You light this candle, and what are you going to do? Hold it up to the window?
Yeah.
It's much the same. You can sort of see there are lines, there are shapes. You can't make out what they are.
In occult terms, does the Great Mother mean anything to me? I mean, is it sort of like obviously a Celtic association with I don't know the
Danu or something like that.
Tuatha De Danann and all this
You
kind
never
of
know.
stuff? Is there anything that I would know from the Great Mother? It's such a specific title.
You could give me an occult roll, but do you have any Cthulhu mythos?
No, my war experience left me only with insanity relating to biological and psychological compulsion. No advantages, or that is to say, no speeding towards the abyss was.
Well, you can give me an occult roll.
You hear a Celtic warrior just shouting, "She's turned the winds against us," over and over.
I think I'm sort of thinking about the mother figure. So that is what would I need? It's a hard success. It's a 12 on a 38.
You're confident that you've not come across this before?
Yeah. This is most unusual, most strange. I wonder if there's something else in the church that might give us some sort of insight. I take out my pocket watch and, is that half an hour we've spent noodling around?
Yeah, probably. Maybe not even that long.
Maybe not 20 minutes, 15. Shall we stick together and investigate the...
Yes.
Yes, let's not get separated.
Good idea.
That vestry always appeals to me.
Oh, the vestry. Yeah.
Especially in these high Anglican churches, the echo of the bells and spells is almost too much for me to resist.
So you make your way over towards the vestry area.
Yes.
Well, actually, as we're passing the front, would it be possible to check what the latest reading has been? Often the book is left open.
Oh, in the Bible?
Yes.
Yes.
2 Kings, 222, 223.
In the pulpit. Yeah. And I say, let's just examine the pulpit briefly.
Yes, let's have a look.
Sometimes they have a dedicatory painting as well. I don't know if there's anything of that sort. Esau, for I am an hairy man. That sort of thing. And really...
Behold, ye trembling
loons. I don't know my Bible at all, by the way, Tilly. I hasten to...
I am the Lord.
Yeah. But
Shit thyself and know me better.
I mean, that would be quite refreshing as a passage, I think.
I wasn't raised religious. Sadly. Maybe I'd be happier.
I went to a cathedral school.
Ooh.
So it was about as close to high Anglican as you can get. And it's had a marvellous influence on my instincts theatrically. But I would say, yeah. And it's a great cathedral.
Well, lots of priests are just failed actors, aren't they? Or they have that actor vibe.
A lot of failed actors are just wanting to be priests.
True enough.
True.
In fact, no, I think...
Refuses to perform unless there's incense and...
Not quite failed yet.
Yeah.
And there's all the seen and the unseen.
Beautiful.
There's camp.
The seen and the unseen, backstage, on stage.
Very true.
Not supposed to see behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz. Right.
We're heading there next.
It's the King James Bible. And your eye is drawn, it's open indeed, and your eye is drawn to Luke 11:34.
Oh God.
The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light. But when thine eye is evil, thy body also is full of darkness.
Okay, what the fuck?
That's like a lot of toss to me. I don't read these things.
The single eye is what? What was it, Dom?
In fact, I'll read you the bits before and after, because I think they're quite interesting as well. So from Luke 33, it says, "No man, when he hath lighted a candle, putteth it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light. But when thine eye is evil, thy body also is full of darkness. Take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not darkness. If thy whole body therefore be full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light, as when the bright shining of a candle doth give thee light." It's all very disturbingly relevant.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So,
Jemima, look at this. I mean, it couldn't be more spot on, could it? You still have that candle, yes?
I do, yes. I fish it out of my bag.
I might be leaping to conclusions, but it seems frightfully relevant, doesn't it? I had a terrible vision there of a black figure emanating a sort of anti-light. Bearing in mind that I'm not a religious personage, you understand. A mere fascination with the subject. A humanist, I tell you, a humanist. This is most unsettling. Colonel? Your tactics?
It's hard to say. I think we should be in well, let's not like that now. But, yes, quite strange. The answer, I feel, lies in the well.
I might take my hip flask out and have a little snifter, only a small one, and then pass it to the Colonel.
Who'll happily suckle upon that. That's a horrible term. He'll happily drink some of that.
So do you think because I'm with this window, like, is this a puzzle?
Yeah.
Is there a way of seeing the picture? And is lighting the black candle the way to see the picture?
Currently you're stood at the central altar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just by the pulpit, right?
Something I've never actually...
Let us check the vestry. And then perhaps, Jemima, I think your... forgive me, Mrs. Croft, your experiment...
Yes.
Well, of course it appeals to me. And he smiled wickedly to you both.
Well, yes, I think you're right.
Very well. I shall be led by you.
Let's have a look at what else is here, and then yes, Jemima, that's terribly good idea.
He is a bit like a big kid in this moment, I think, when he sort of goes through to the vestry, as if I think he sort of imagines he's in some sort of Coghill, Rudyard Kipling adventure novel.
Narrator, he was it.
No, damn straight.
He was mistaken.
But he's yet to quite catch himself because he's in his own.
So as you go through towards the vestry, there's a kind of like small corridor. The corridor's wrong. Just a little entranceway that is by the side door. So there's a side door here that clearly leads outside. And then there's a door to the vestry, a door you've just come from. And there's a barely covered wooden trapdoor here next to the side entranceway. It's covered over with a simple rug. But you can see it's definitely a trapdoor. But yes, there's a vestry door and the side door, that's it. The vestry door even says vestry on it, yeah.
Good Lord. Looks like our theories about the underground sort of element of this could be correct. Maybe we...
Yes, the cellarage continues.
Yes, quite.
Perhaps we should check the vestry and then check the cellar.
Quite, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of for a church to have a cellar, right? Especially an old church.
An undercroft, yeah.
An undercroft, right? Yeah. Or even...
Miss Croft? An undercroft, is that a thing you're aware of?
I had nothing to do with this.
No, okay, excellent. Just thought I'd check.
Yes, an undercroft. Yes, I have heard of such things.
I blush and keep walking.
Well, you carry on, sir.
What did someone say?
What did someone say? I still think the black candle on the black window is a good idea, so I'm allowing others to look around the space, but I don't know what I can really add to that.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be any black robes or the like in the vestry.
Well, as you go into the vestry, you find that it's a very normal-looking vestry. It's small. There's a desk, chair. There are some robes hanging up in a sort of open-sided wardrobe, but they are...
Couple of ball gags.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the classic shit.
There's some gymnastics equipment in here, but they've got like handcuffs on them. It's weird.
Oh no, wait, Dom, that's you looking in the corner of the room.
Yes. There's 3 Johnnies cast on the floor.
17 passports.
They're all empty. None of them have been filled successfully.
Dr. Chasuble and Miss Prism are in the corner frotting.
Yeah, well, come on.
For those of you who know your...
Cut all that. But the robes all seem to be the standard set of C of E high Anglican robes. White cassocks, purple cassocks. The Easter stuff, the Christmas stuff, the Lent stuff, whatever.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
Nothing sets your theology alarm tingling anyway. There's a load of books in here on, Bible stuff. But that's it.
I go to flick through the books.
It's Bible stuff.
Yes, without wanting to turn the place upside down, a thorough search reveals nothing, I take it.
Nothing unusual.
Spot hidden?
Probably not. If it depends. If you're being thorough and you're taking your time, then it'll probably take about 15 minutes. But yeah, you don't find anything. Also, it looks like Corin's taken all of his really personal effects out of the vestry.
Yeah.
So there's no diaries or anything like that.
I think after about 5 minutes, or what feels like 5, maybe it's more like 7, I think I will say to the other 2, I'm not sure there's anything here. Maybe we should look at that cellar.
Yes, perhaps we should. Stand back. I go to open it.
So it's not locked, but it is heavy and it's rusted in place quite a lot. So it takes a while to work it free.
Do you need a strength roll?
I don't think so. Like, you get there in the end, but it takes a bit of time.
Okay.
But not in regular use, therefore, we would potentially argue.
Or it's just old.
Either way.
Hard to say.
And people know it well.
And beneath it leads to a steep stone staircase, which disappears into the chilly earth beneath the church.
Well,
Hell no.
I tell you what.
I don't think we'll be making it for scones.
Well, yes. Scones can wait.
Yes, that is only an hour away.
I have a flashback to jumping down into the first German trenches, and I say, I think what we're after might be down here. Happy to be the only one who goes. I'll shout up to you. It's up to you. And I'd start walking down the stairs.
Oh, Colonel, you mustn't go down there alone.
No, it's fine.
Dr. John will go with you.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Brother.
If you're happy to.
Wait. We'll need more candles, or even a lantern. Is there one? I think I might have seen one at the front door, or just inside. Hold your horses, Colonel, and I dash back up.
Okay. I think I'm a couple of steps down, so I'm sort of maybe midway into the thing, but I stop.
You probably saw a lantern in the vestry.
No, that was it, yes. I turned back and once ago. No, it's in here.
Oh, you've got one. Lovely.
Yeah, a little storm lantern.
I'm very deaf, remember.
Here.
I can't really, but yes.
You're doing tremendously well, Colonel.
Thank you.
With the speed of an opium addict laying out his pipe and paraphernalia, I get that lantern open and I light it within seconds.
Lovely.
Great.
using my slightly overly full lighter, which I think there were lighters. They were just quite complicated mechanical affairs.
Yeah.
And are you passing it to
There'll be
me?
Zippos in the 20.
It's good. Yeah, the lantern, yes. Yeah. And then I'm grabbing a candle.
You see me sort of cut and sort of brush the sides of it to tidy it up somewhat. And then, yes. I know. You also notice, you remember the back of his hand, which is almost cut through with this huge giant scar. And
Yes.
he sort of says, right, let's have a look at what's down here, shall we?
That was from the trenches, right? The
Oh, yeah, it's not recent.
But you were quite
So as
good. Sorry, Dom. You were quite good, weren't you, with all of that trench warfare stuff, with using the sort of medieval weapons.
Oh, yes.
Where you'd have your Webley and then a small baton with a metal ball on the top.
It's
with a
almost
few
as if he
nails.
invented the bayonet. He combined weapons like nobody's business.
That was
A sword gun, a gun sword,
yes.
a bow.
You had all sorts of paraphernalia like that, didn't you?
Catapult tank.
A catapult tank,
tank.
a trebuchet,
Could have changed
grenade.
the war if they'd only backed you.
If they'd only backed me, and Mountbatten did what he could, but I'm in a different era.
As he's descending, I turn back to Jemima and I say, Mrs. Croft, if anything should happen and we don't return, I advise you to use the candle and examine that window, and then retreat to Corin and demand to be driven somewhere else.
Oh, well, maybe I should come with you.
Yes, maybe you
Good
should.
idea.
Maybe we should all stick together. I hadn't intended that to be the result of my outburst, but that's very kind of you to suggest.
If one of us is to die, then perhaps we all should.
Here, would you like a candle?
Yes, I think that would be
I'll
wise.
take one of the frightening number of candles that I've stuffed into my
great.
pockets out, and I stick it into your hand if you're willing to see.
Thank you.
So, as you descend, you discover that the Undercroft is much smaller than the rest of the church.
Just to know.
It's cold and dark down here, but surprisingly quite dry.
Okay.
At first glance, it appears to be an overfilled storeroom. Extra chairs, a couple of broken pews, and there are 2 folding tables piled up against one of the walls.
Nothing so far.
I'll examine those tables, the folding tables. Are they the sort that might have something behind them?
So you pull them away, and there is a hole in the wall.
Not another hole. Fucking hell.
Damn it all.
What are you doing moving the table?
You realise it's just about big enough to crawl through.
Dreadful idea.
No.
Does it remind me of the hole in Corin's house?
Yeah, a little bit. It's bigger than that, though.
I only glimpsed it, didn't I?
Right.
There's every chance there's some kind of network of tunnels.
Yes, that seems to be the
It could
case.
run from here to Corin's house.
It could do indeed.
Were there ever mines here?
Let's be serious. This does not implicate Corin in anything. He's not to know.
No.
But even so,
It makes me slightly more nervous about Ernest, though.
yes.
How able is Ernest able?
Well, excellent wordplay, but yes, your point's quite serious.
I kneel down and have a careful listen.
There's the slight whistle of air, as if it opens out into a larger space.
I wonder, are there subterranean cannons? Or otherwise known as caverns?
Well, listen, I'm not a what's the term people use these days?
Geologist?
No. Rather, my shell shock's not so bad as I don't have a claustrophobia, I think is the term. I'd happily attempt this crawl if we thought it might be useful.
Well, I wonder whether we need to look at this glass using the candle before we start investigating.
Yes, I think you're right. Miss Jemima's idea of looking at the glass with the black candle. Quite right. But, how far can it be?
Also, perhaps we should have some equipment. I mean, if we're talking caverns, the Blue John Caves I've visited once.
Oh, yes.
And
Like some pole
had
caverns.
hooded lanterns, sensible footwear.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my brogues. I don't have my boots on.
Yes.
I'm sure Mrs. Croft would be most capable of making a descent, but I, for one, really should put on more sensible trousers.
So you're suggesting we...
The only caverns I plunder are the caverns of the mind.
Oh, quite right.
I turn and look at her in a halo of candlelight, and I'm filled with wonder.
And I say, well, no, quite right. And I think your idea about the candle in the black window, we must check this. But the air smells rather fresh down there. I'm sure I could make it out. And if I don't...
What about this? We return to our rooms.
Yes.
Get some more appropriate gear. Leave a little note for Abel saying that we shan't be there for tea.
Yes.
Do carry on without us. And then we make it an immediate return.
Yes, I suppose so. That would cover all bases.
Too organised?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yes.
Just to clarify, have you shone the lantern down that tunnel?
At this point, surely he does that.
Well, I'm holding the
not
lantern
me.
out, so I feel like I would.
Because I think I can see in his eyes, I can see the enthusiasm he has to act, and I'm sort of almost willing to be defeated on this point.
So you can actually see the other end of this. It's not a long tunnel. It's like
this is what I thought. Quite a short tunnel. Yeah.
and it opens into. It seems to slope down slightly.
Sure.
But it opens into a room that is clearly another part of the Undercroft. And you can just about make out what looks to be a box. But that's all you can really see, because it sort of opens out, so you can't see either side.
We're
unless you go
talking
through the
15
tunnel.
feet, something like that.
Colonel, you're muttering under your breath. What did you say? Box?
I said, yes, a box. There's a box down there. 15 feet. I think that's what it is.
The tunnel itself is probably about, not even that, 10 foot long.
Listen, they used to call me the slow worm in the trenches, and I say, hold this, and I put the lantern beside me, and I go for the tunnel.
Oh, goodness. Do be careful, Colonel.
Take it with you.
I will.
I'll pass it. I'll pass it behind you. There you go, Colonel.
behind me. That'll be fine.
So you come out in a room. It looks like the rest of the Undercroft, really. It's not quite, the ceiling's not quite high enough to stand up.
Sure.
You can sort of stand sort of slightly hunched.
Bit cramped down here. Don't follow.
It's bare.
Yes.
It's bare, and the floor is very, very dusty. But yeah, there's this trunk on the opposite wall. That seems to be the only thing in here, but you can give me a spot hidden if you want.
I'll give you a spot hidden. I may use some luck. So I imagine I'll fail. That's a 58.
Who knows?
It's too much to push or spend luck on. But what I will do is...
Jemima's behind you. She's good, isn't she? She's good at that.
Well, has she followed me down the tunnel?
Oh, I thought you were with the lantern. No, I misunderstood.
I can follow.
I think in my head
Maybe the Colonel tells me his eyesight's not what it was.
Yeah. Oh, I can't really tell. Hold on. I'll have a look in the trunk. I mean, the trunk's the main thing of import, right? So I'll head towards that and give it a wrench.
We should join him. We shouldn't leave him there. Not opening it.
I'm fine. Honestly.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's room for us.
I'll be back for 11s in a moment.
Yeah. What are you doing with the tunnel? The trunk?
I'd like to just open it and see what's inside.
Yeah. Sorry, did Jemima go through the tunnel as well? No.
I didn't know.
It's just me down there.
So you open this trunk. Fine. You find a number of robes.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, for
Here we
fuck's sake.
Black robes.
Oh, what?
There are also a stash of black candles.
Give it a fucking lot.
There is an iron ring.
Sure there is.
An iron signet ring. And there is a manuscript as well.
Oh boy.
The manuscript is called
Magnum Tenebrosum.
How to start your own cult.
Yes. Yeah. 30 seconds to Mars. The Jared Leto story.
The scroll is titled Illuminationes Viburniae.
Of course it is. Fuck.
P. Viburnicus.
The signet ring bears a symbol, and I'm sure you can guess what the symbol is.
No.
It's the same one you saw at the foot of the statue.
Fuck. Wow. Shit.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. What I'm going to do is go for a wee.